Guys, it's science time. Hopefully you had a good lunch and a good second mask break. So we are going to get working on a new way to classify. We had talked about size, shape, and color, and today we're going to talk about weight. So we're going to first read a Mayan story, then we're going to look at a video, and then I want us to sort some in our science notebook. So the first thing we're going to do is share that screen. And thank you again for being patient. With science, I do have to click a lot of different buttons because I'm coming from different spots. So thanks for being patient with me while you wait to see me. Okay, so here is the first story that we're going to read. All right, yep. Okay, so it's called Measuring Weight. Heavy or light? Dad and I are picking berries. Our buckets are full. How heavy are they? We will need to measure their weight. So go ahead and put your thumb up if you guys have ever gone blueberry picking or raspberry picking or strawberry picking. I know that's a really cool thing to do in Florida. You guys are lucky that you guys have a chance to do that. All right, so it looks like some of you, not everyone, but that's okay. Maybe one day, and you have to do it in the spring. So maybe one day, in 2021, maybe your mom or dad can take you guys to do that. Okay, so let's keep going. Weight is how heavy something is. A scale is a tool to measure weight. It shows weight in ounces and pounds. There are 16 ounces and 1 pound. All right, so most of you guys when you were born, you probably weighed 7 pounds and 8 ounces. So whenever your mom always says it, your weight when you were born, she never just says the pounds. She also puts the ounces in there. But now that you guys are big and strong, we just put the pounds. So you guys might weigh 40 pounds or 50 pounds. So if you guys want, you guys can raise your hand and we can compare those weights. And again, remember, compare is how they're like and different. And we can't physically move you guys around and sort because remember, we have to have that distance, but we can talk about it and how some of us are heavier and lighter. So it's up to you guys if you want to do that. You can go ahead and pause me. All right, awesome. All right, so we're going to go ahead. And this is an old scale. Now, I'm sure you guys might have seen a scale when you were in kindergarten. It's kind of a plastic and it kind of leans like a seesaw on one side, depending if something is heavier or lighter. So this is a balance scale, has 2 sides. Put an object on one side. Add weights to the other side. When the scale is level, you can see how much the objects weigh. So right now we can see this is the weight and there's not a number attached to it that we can see, but it looks like in here they might have put salt or sugar. And we can see that the weight weighs more than the salt and sugar. Can you raise your hand and tell me how I know by looking at the scale that the weight weighs more than the salt or sugar? Go ahead and raise your hand. Okay, great. Hopefully you guys said that the weight is at the bottom while the salt and the sugar is at the top. So when something is heavy, it's going to go down. It's kind of going to sink, okay? But when something is lighter, it's going to be at the top, okay? Now this is a spring scale. This is not a scale that we normally see every day. It uses springs to measure weight. Hook an object on the scale. How much does it weigh? So you guys all know that Kellen loves to fish. So this kind of looks like a bass right here. And it looks like it weighs about 1 pound and 4 ounces. So those are different types of scales that you might use because if you do love to fish and you do become a fisherman, there's a lot of rules. You have to measure how long the fish is and how much it weighs. Because some of the times you're not allowed to keep it. They want you to throw it back in so it can get bigger. And that's just called fish and catch and release. And that's a really important thing to know about. All right, so let's go back to weight. A post office scales weigh mail. A package weighs, this package here weighs 4 pounds. This letter weighs 3 ounces. So I know that probably your mom or your dad is probably definitely shopping through Amazon, and you probably get a package at the door. Well, before that package came to your door, they had to weigh it to find out, would it be able to fit in the truck? Would it be able to fit on that plane if it came from somewhere else? So it's definitely important that we measure how much our packages are so that they can get to where they need to go to. All right, a grocery scale weighs food. Food goes into the basket. An arrow moves on the dial, and this right here, I'm going to move my face real quick. This is the dial, and the banana weighs 4 pounds. So this is telling us how much the bananas weigh. And I don't see this much as before, but when I was a little kid, when I went to the grocery store with my mom, they used to have these here, but I don't see them as much because I think the cashier does a lot of it now. And this is a crane scale. It weighs very heavy loads. The cargo weighs 1 ton. 1 ton weighs the same as 2,000 pounds. Can you imagine that this crane must be so strong that it can lift up 2,000 pounds? All right, so those are just some different scales that we use to weigh things. Now, in first grade, being a scientist that we are most likely going to be using the balance scale. So this is the one that we really need to focus on. And to remember, when something is heavy, it goes to the bottom, and when something is light, it will be at the top. All right, so what we're going to do next is we are going to watch just a short clip about this grocery man and how he is weighing. And you can see that he has his balance scale right here.
Look at this. This is a weighing scale. We use a weighing scale to compare the weights of two objects. When we compare the weight of two objects, one object can either be heavier or lighter than the other, or both can weigh the same.
Okay, so I want you guys to look when they say it weighs the same. How do you know it weighs the same? Look at that scale, look at the lines, and I want you guys to raise your hand and share with us on how we know it weighs the same. Go ahead and pause me. Okay, perfect. Hopefully you guys said because the line is even, okay? It's not tilted, it's even, so that means it is the same. So these 3 black cubes weigh the same as these eggplants because it's on a straight line.
Let's understand this in a better way with the help of the weighing scale. Look, Raghu kept a pumpkin in one pan and a brinjal in the other.
Okay, what do you notice what happened to that scale? Go ahead, raise your hand. What do you notice about that scale? Okay, great observation. Way to be a scientist and using your eyes and your schema and your knowledge to know that the pumpkin is the heaviest because it's at the bottom, while the eggplant is lighter because it's at the top. So perfect job, guys. All right, let's keep being a scientist.
The pan with the pumpkin went down, and the pan with the brinjal went up. The pan with the heavier object always goes down, and the pan with the lighter object always goes up. So, the pumpkin is heavier than the brinjal, or we can say that the brinjal is lighter than the pumpkin. Look at the weighing scale now. Raghu has kept 2 tomatoes in one pan and 2 chilies in the other.
Okay, so I want you guys to tell me which object is lighter, and then I want you to tell me which object is heavier. So go ahead and pause me. Great. Hopefully you guys said that the tomatoes are heavier because they're at the bottom. And hopefully you said over here, the peppers are lighter because they're at the top. So great job. Let's keep using our balance scale.
The pan with the 2 tomatoes went down and the pan with the 2 chilies went up. So which is the heavier object? As the pan with the tomatoes went down, it means the tomatoes are heavier. C. Now Raghu is keeping lemons on the weighing scale. He kept 5 lemons in one pan and 1 lemon in the other.
Okay, so which is heavier? 5 lemons or 1 lemon, and which one is lighter? So go ahead and raise your hand and tell us which one is heavier and which one is lighter. All right, awesome. We can definitely see that 5 lemons are at the bottom of the scale, so they are heavier. 1 lemon is at the top of the scale, so it is lighter.
The pan with the 5 lemons went down and the pan with the 1 lemon went up. It means that 1 lemon is lighter than 5 lemons. Hope you had fun weighing the vegetables with Raghu.
All right, so I want you guys to, we're gonna get ready to do some work in our science notebook in a second. And we can watch this video on weight tomorrow. All right, so like I said, thanks for being patient. You know that sometimes it takes a while for it all to load on here. All right, so we have, it looks like a tape dispenser and a lemon. So again, raise your hand and tell me which one is heavier. Is it the tape or the lemon? And which one is lighter, the tape or the lemon? So go ahead and pause me. Okay, great job. You guys should have said the tape is heavier and the lemon is lighter. Or you could have said the lemon is lighter than the tape. And how do we know? The tape is at the bottom and the lemon is at the top. You guys are definitely doing a great job with this weight. Okay, so what we're going to see in a bit are some pictures. And this is where, in a little bit, you're going to be working on your own. You're going to be taking out your science notebook in a second. Not yet, hands on top. Okay, so we're going to put today's date at the top of your science notebook. And then you're going to draw a line down the middle. And on one side, you're going to put the word light. And on the other side, you're going to put the word heavy. So it's going to look like this. The date in your science notebook, the word light, and then the word heavy, and the line is down the middle. Then you're going to sort the objects, and you guys are just going to draw, where do you think the coat belongs, light or heavy? Where do you think the desk belongs, light or heavy? Where do you think the beach ball belongs, light or heavy? Where do you think the 1 gallon of water belongs, light or heavy? Where do you think the pencil belongs, light or heavy? The elephant, light or heavy? And the last one, feather, light or heavy? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 objects to draw into each category. So Ms. Simonton is going to give you about 8 minutes to get this done. And then you guys can share your answers. Remember, don't close it because we're going to check to make sure that we got it right. And we can always learn from our friends. Our friends are super smart. We get to learn from them. So you guys can go ahead and pause me, and I will see you tomorrow.